Hey guys! Alright, episode 6. I had to look that up before I was gonna say episode 7, but I was like, you know what, I better make sure because I totally got it wrong last time. Episode 6! I'm on a roll here. Gluten-free roll. Okay, sorry. I shouldn't be making jokes. I have the worst jokes. Okay. So last episode, we ended with an honored guest that's showing up to Taichen Palace. And for us, we know who it is. At least we assume who it is, because I believe it's been 3 months. So, sorry. That's what we start with this time, is the honored guest showing up in this beautiful, I don't know what you call it. It's not a carriage. You know what? I should have looked up what you call those things. I don't know what you call them. And when the curtain opens, of course, we see Jiang. She has come to the palace, and yeah, Fangju is understandably not happy about this. She has not heard about it. This is the first she's heard about it, and she's extremely unhappy. And if I remember correctly, she runs away to hide for a bit. Let's see. So, oh yeah, it's like I love the friendship between Donghua and Liansong, because he comes and he starts just talking about the marriage, and I've been saying you should get married like all this time, and blah, blah. And Donghua's like, okay, did you just come here all the way here to gossip today? Because yeah, but I'm sure that was part of the reason. But the other part of the reason is he actually has this birthday present in mind for Cheng Yu, who he definitely likes, and it's like this drawing of a knife that does all these different things, because he heard that she collects swords and stuff, I think is what it was. So, okay, let me make sure I got this. But this is like, I guess it's going to be a magic sword, I'm guessing, because I don't know if you could make this in real life. But so in close combat, it is a short knife. In long range combat, it would be a long sword, obviously. It also has hidden weapons, like these little silver needles that are inside of it, and it can stick into the opponent. And it can take them down immediately. It can become an iron bow for hunting, and something as simple as a kitchen knife when you're cooking. So like, this is like everything in one. Like, that would be so cool. I wish I would love something like that. Not that I'm in battle a lot, but it would still be so cool. Especially if you were ever in a situation where, you know, end of the world and you need something, because that would just be, that'd be so cool. But that's what he wants. And Fangju, she actually gets a look at it, and she's really good with weapons, as we see. And she looks at it and she's like, oh, I can see some things, some places that need to be fixed. Like this is a good idea, but it's not perfect. So she takes it to Ximing and has him like fill in the places that she thinks needs to be revised to make it work better. And she brings it back to Donghua. And so Jihang happens to come in at that time to ask Donghua a question about some scriptures that she'd been reading. And I'm sorry, we had a gigantic dust storm, so it's getting in my throat. I don't think I have a drink. Oh, anyway. Okay, so, but Donghua comes in right at that moment when she's in there, and she was going to leave him a note about, oh, hey, I have this question for you. So when he walks in and he sees the drawing is changed, he thinks that she did it. He's like, oh, wow, like, I didn't, you know, your brother said that you had lots of interests, and I didn't know you could do something like this. That's impressive. And coming from him, that's like wow. But Jiang, instead of like, she's kind of, at first she's kind of like, oh, well, I mean, But then when the more she notices how impressed he is, she doesn't disagree with it. She doesn't she doesn't say, yeah, I did it, but she doesn't say, no, I didn't do it either. She just kind of goes along with it, and that really, really pisses off Fangju, which I agree. I'm like, that. I mean, and maybe Jiang doesn't know who actually did it. She probably doesn't think the fox could do that. So I don't know what her reasoning is, but but Fangju she hauls off and bites her hand. Bleeding everywhere. It's yeah. And Donghua takes her by the scruff and just throws her out. He throws her out. He's like, okay, biting people, throwing you out. And she runs away and hides for a bit, and she's hoping that Donghua will realize his mistake, but he doesn't. I think because they've been together for so long, she was like, well, why did he just automatically think it was me? Like, that it was something that I did. And she comes back to see, like, oh, is anybody looking for me? But they're not. They're in his bedroom. He's, like, painting, and she's working on the drawing, and she asks him a question, and so Fangju's, like, just waiting for him to say something mean, because every time somebody does something wrong or stupid, or, you know, he thinks you should know, you get a biting remark. And so she's waiting for it, like, but it never comes. He's super, super nice to her. He does not criticize her. And Fangju, this is the first time that she finally realizes, you know what? I think I might be too late. I've never seen him be this way to anybody. He must really love her. And yeah, she's very sad. But she does come to the realization. So, Jiang, from the moment she showed up, the fox, Fangju, has avoided her and been very mean to her, didn't want to be with her because of this marriage thing, and Jiang doesn't know why, but she doesn't give up very easily. So Fangju has been spying on them while they're, like, doing this pottery thing, I think, and when she goes to leave, I guess she had been sitting there for so long that her paws fell asleep. So she totally falls down, and Jiang finds her and picks her up because she can't go anywhere and she can't do anything. Her paws are numb, and she's just so happy to be holding the fox again. And Fangju, okay, I wrote this down because it was a good quote. She said that she worked so hard but only made it to the position of a pet, and which is like definitely frustrating. You're like, I only made it to pet mode. Although I don't know if Donghua is supposed to think of her as something else because she's a fox. I don't know. He doesn't know she's a human. So anyway, that thought frustrates her so much. She scratches her face, scratches Jiang's face, and it's just bleeding. And Donghua gets mad again, and he has the fox locked up. He tells Chonglin to lock her up. It's like she's just a menace. Lock her up. Keep her out. Chonglin doesn't know where he's supposed to keep her because Donghua never said. So he lets the fox stay at his place. And I think this part right here, it shows Chonglin is he's a very sweet person. I'd love to meet a person like that. It's so sweet. Of course, I'd love to meet somebody like Donghua too. Either way, I love this episode because it does show he has such a very sweet side, and he takes care of her and he worries about her, tries to give her food, and so the one day, I don't know how long it's been, she asks to go outside, and he's like, you know what? I will let you out to get some sunshine and you can run around, but you have to promise not to be seen by like Donghua or Jihang or anybody like that, because he doesn't want to be, you know, seen as somebody who didn't do his duty. He's like, you have to promise, and which she nods. She says she will, so he lets her out, and she does go, and she finds let's see, she sees, oh yeah, that's right, Donghua is out with, it's Jihang's, I guess it's her ride is what I'm thinking. It's a white-winged lion, and gorgeous creature if you ask me, and she sees him with it, and he's feeding this lion, I guess it's some special food, and she's like, yeah, he never fed that to me. And but although I think these guys, that's all they eat, and they're like bonding together, and he's, you know, like petting it, like doing all these things that Fangju used to do to get attention, and they're very much have a bond going on there. But we already know Donghua is very good with animals, at least so far from what we've seen, so she's very upset about it. She doesn't notice Donghua leave, and so when she's leaving, the lion sees her and confronts her, and the lion is like, I get it, he's really mad. He knows that that fox is the one that hurt his princess and made her feel bad, and the lion's pissed. It's like, we know she had a justification for doing it, but nobody else knows, and the lion doesn't know, and it is very mad at her. So I know a lot of people probably hate on the lion, and they're like, oh, that's so bad, stupid lion. But I'm like, you know what? All it knows is that this fox is super proud and super cocky, and it's spoiled, and it hurt his princess, and he's mad. Plus Fanju turns her back on it and tries to walk away, which is a bad idea. Any predator, anybody, never turn your back. Never do that. So it like totally beats her up. It nearly kills her. Takes the jade necklace away. One of its last hits sends her flying into the water, and she ends up almost drowning. But by some miracle, Ximing happens to be fishing, and happens to hook her. And so when he reels it in, and he brings out this fox, and he's like, oh my gosh, what happened? And she's in bad shape. She's really bad shape. But he takes her back to where he lives, and like he has to get all this special medicine, everything, like he owes all these favors just to help bring her back, and it takes days. And by the time she wakes up, she knows it's time to move on. She's like, this is it. Even when Ximing's like, okay, I think it's time to move on. Do you want to go back to Qingqiu? And she's like, you know what? Yeah, I do. And he asks her if he wants to see him one more time before she leaves, and she's like, yeah, I want to see him one more time. I want to, you know, this will be my goodbye. She's very strong. She's like, I'm not going to be, wow, I forgot the word she used. But she wasn't going to let her pride get in the way. She wasn't going to make a fool of herself by trying to keep getting his attention, because apparently she's been there for 2,000 years, which I didn't know. I don't know if that combines the maid and the fox or what, but I was like, oh dang, I didn't know it was that long. So they're out on the pavilion that's supposed to be the fox's pavilion, which is sad in and of itself, and they seem very happy. They seem like a perfect couple. They're both gorgeous. They both got this pet. They call it a spiritual pet. And she learns they're going to be married in 2 days, and which shocks her. She's like, I didn't know it was going to be so soon. Like it's just all of a sudden. Usually marriages take a while to plan and stuff, but so this is a very quick marriage. And she's like, this is it. Like, it really is it. It just confirms for her that there's not going to be anything else here. So just as I turn to leave, the sword that she fixed the drawing for comes flying in. It's getting delivered, I think is what it is. And she watches Donghua like test the blade, like cutting the flowers, the balance, all that kind of stuff, making sure it's well made, which it is. And it's a very nice looking sword, and he handles it very well. Oh, he's so cute, so handsome. And even though she's really sad, and she's crying, which I'm like, this is the second time I've seen this and I still started getting teary-eyed. I hate that so much. I always get such a headache when I do that. But so she's crying, her heart's broken, and the last thing before it fades, she says, everything is going to be all right. And I'm that, see, I'm getting goosebumps just reading it. And that, because that's so strong. I mean, you know it's gonna hurt. You know, there are so many people who would not take it that way, who would not be able to move on, or they would just do something stupid, or just be in a depression forever. But even though she is heartbroken, she's like, it's gonna be okay. I am this woman from Jinchu. I am royalty. I am gonna be the leader of my people. I cannot let something like this get in the way. I can't be foolish about this. I can't bring shame to me and my family. So I love that it ends with her saying that everything is going to be all right. I'm like, oh. And I always compare myself to her. I'm like, oh, she's so much like me. I'm so much like her. And so I'm like, you know what? In this case, this is what I need to do. I need to like get that framed. Everything is going to be all right. Hang it up on my wall, because that's just, I absolutely love that. It was very, not prophetic, but what is that called? Very well said. I can't think of the word right now, guys. So anyway, once again, this time they actually did, they left you with kind of an ending, but then, because it's like, okay, she tried, she's done, even though you know there's something else is going on, because there's like, what, 68 episodes still. But so they give you a little bit of a closure, like, okay, that's the end of this, and then you're like, okay, well, what's next then? What's next? Because there's obviously more episodes. So it's like an ending and a beginning. It's very good. And they show her in, it's that blurry vision again. So she is the fox, but whenever they show her in that blurry human form, it's just showing her inside, her spirit, basically, I believe, is how I interpret it anyway. So there we go. That was episode 6. I hope I can get to episode 7 this week. We shall see how busy it gets, if I have any work this week. It's been very low on work, and it's very frustrating, which is, you know what? Everything is going to be all right. See, I needed that. I needed that. And, okay. Love this show. I really do. And now that I'm actually going through it and kind of picking it apart and giving my own opinions, and and watching it this second time and going over everything, there's a lot of stuff that's popping out to me, and a lot of stuff that's really stuff that I didn't notice before, because I was just, what's next, you know, when you're watching a show for the first time and it's really good, especially if there's subtitles. So anyway, 19 minutes talking, yeah. Okay, so comment and like and subscribe. You can find me on social media, which I will have down in the description. Come and say hi to me. Love to make foreign friends. That'd be awesome. And that's it. Okay, yeah, that's it. So I will see you on episode 7. So